All right. Welcome back, or welcome if you're just joining. This is the Lunch Break Show. I'm your favorite influencer, CEO, and image consultant, Jordan Kenchen. And once again, I have a very special episode. Why is it a special episode? Because I have a special guest. My dad. How you feeling today, man?
Good, excited for this. Thank you.
No, well, I know your name, but for those that don't, just address yourself.
John Rodney Kenchen, in the house.
All right, man. Where are you from?
Okay, so originally from this area, from the city, New York City. I was born actually in Los Angeles. Did I ever tell you that?
You were born in LA?
I was born in LA. My mom struggled a little bit with me. And when I was about a month old, all her family lives in New York, all her family. So I was about a month old, and your mom said, you know what, I can't do this by myself. So I'm going back home. So she moved back home to New York, and her and my grandmother helped raise me for the first few years of my life. So, yeah.
Wow, okay, I guess you learn something new every day, huh? All right, let's backtrack a second, right? Okay, so you're from New York. Well, you were born in LA. You're from New York, right?
Originally, yes.
And it was just your mom?
And my dad.
Your mom and your dad?
And my dad, yeah. They were still together. Mm-hmm.
About how long was that? What do you recall that they were together?
How long were they together? Probably till I was about 8, 9 years old. Yeah.
And how do you feel like their relationship in that early stage till you were about 9? Do you recall it enough to where it affected you?
They had a wonderful relationship.
Okay.
It was wonderful, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They really loved each other. They had a great time with each other. Our time in New York was some of the best years of my childhood. My dad had a wall full of records, and he would play music all the time. My mom would be, in her own little section of the apartment. This is some of my early memories. Talking to her like her girlfriends or whatever, and I would come to the living room and I would dance with my dad, and then I would go to my mom while she's talking on the phone, and she would I remember she'd always rub my head while she was talking on the phone. I never forget that. And then me and my sister would climb into the closet, and our closets was so huge, right? Our closet's probably the size of this area right here that we're sitting in, and we would just swing through these closets. So those were some of my happiest times. They really loved each other. They never talked bad about each other. They had a really great relationship. They really did.
And that's here in New York that's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So you had one sister, you had your mom and your dad coming up in New York.
Yeah.
So what is it like? Because some of my followers are from New York, but some are from all over.
Okay.
So they don't know. What is it like coming up in a city like this?
Oh, wow. It's fun. It's fast. You grow up real quick. You see a lot of things that, normal, kids in other areas probably don't see. So you see a lot of adult things early. I loved it though. Like, hopping the turnstiles. I did all that stuff as a kid, Yeah. I did all that stuff. So it was great. I grew up really fast, and it was to the point where when we moved to Virginia, I was doing everything on my own. Like I could. My mom would put the laundry in bags, and I would go to the laundromat by myself and do all the clothes, do all the laundry by myself, take care of the house by myself. Her rule was, have the house, a certain way when I got home. So that's what it was. So I cleaned the house, did the laundry. I went grocery shopping by myself. Like, you grow up quick, in that environment. So it just carried over to when we moved.
What age did you move to Virginia?
So it was first grade. First grade.
Yeah, that's a big adjustment.
First grade. I want to say the end of, it was first grade. I was going into second grade. I skipped second grade. They skipped me. They skipped me.
Smart
second
guy.
grade. Yeah, to third. So I skipped second. So I had that. But yeah, and I just I don't know. It was a big adjustment. It was a big adjustment. Yeah.
So would you say you grew up in the hood, or was it like a white picket fence type thing?
Yeah, it was the hood. It was the hood.
Did you realize you were in the hood in the moment?
Yes.
What helped you realize that?
Because of where we came from in New York, in the city, we had a really beautiful big apartment. Like, it was nice. It was a really nice apartment. When we moved to Virginia, that's when my parents separated. So it's like that joke. Oh, we're moving on down. And we moved down. So we were in Bird Park. Bird Park. The what was that? The West End.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bird Park, West End. This house was like crazy. Bad, poor. We lived behind a hardware store. It was terrible. I used to get off the bus, right? They would drop me off on the corner, and my friends would say, "You don't live in that house right there, do you? You don't live there, do you?" I say, No, I don't live there. My house is past that house. You just can't see it because it turns. I don't live in the house, but I did live in the house. I was trying to fake it as much as I could. But it was not good. That was the hood. I got bullied a lot because of the way I talked. I had a heavy New York accent, so that was a problem. People said I talked funny. So it was not an ideal situation, I'd say, but it toughened me up.
That's another thing, because you're in the hood, but you feel like you're different in a sense.
Yeah.
Like you didn't have the hood mentality.
No, I didn't. Yeah, I wasn't a hood person.
But what led that? Like, what made you not have that? What made you want to be different?
Oh man, what made me want to be different? It was just in me. It was just something in me.
Do you feel like your dad was like that?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, my dad was a lot like that. I didn't hear a lot of his stories until I got older, but hearing his stories about being in Vietnam, fighting in Vietnam, and his Navy stories and stuff, all that's really cool. I think I kind of felt even though he didn't really talk to me about that stuff when I was younger, I kind of felt that energy. That's probably what it was. I kind of felt that energy from him he was such a outgoing and confident and strong person. So he even though he didn't really tell me those sort of things when I was younger, but I could feel it. I could feel it from him.
Same thing. I got that same feeling from you because you already know I was in the hood. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? And I don't know, I always felt different. Like, now I always look at it like this. I'm a perfect mix of you and my mom. Because you know my mom. Yeah. And she adapts a hood mentality. She's not that now. She's changed, by the way. If you go look at that episode. But for the long time, she had a hood mentality. And I always felt like I was just right in the middle. Like, I could maneuver in the hood, but I always felt like I wasn't just that. I didn't want to crash out. Yeah. So, not to go off too topic, but what high school did you graduate from?
Oh, I went to Open High.
Open High.
Open High. Yeah, I went to Open High. So I was going to. So all my life it's been my childhood life. It's been a mix of hood and not so hood. So I went to Henderson for middle school. Yeah. Right. And Henderson was that was an experience. I had some really good friends from that school. I went to John B. Carey for elementary school. That was my first crush was from there. Anna Cunningham, I'll never forget. Shout out to Anna Cunningham. And then so from Henderson, I was supposed to go to I believe Robert E. Lee. I think that's high school, right? Robert E. Lee. I was supposed to go to Robert E. Lee. I said no, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to Robert E. Lee. I had a bully in my neighborhood that was bullying all the neighborhood kids. He went to that school. Oh yeah. Right. So I said no, I'm not doing that. So at Henderson, we had a thing where different high schools would come to your school and sort of like recruit you. Open high, community high, like all those different types of alternative high schools came to recruit you. So Open High came and they did, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, "That's where I'm going. That's where I'm going. I'm going to Open High." I knew it. My mom kind of tried to talk me out of it. I was like, "No, that's where I want to go." You have to interview to get the. Did you know you had to interview to get in?
I didn't know.
Yes, you have to submit a essay and you have to interview with the seniors of the school, and they have to admit you into the school. They'll say you're okay to come. So yeah, I went through that whole process. I got in, and I loved it. Yeah, I was probably one of maybe 4 or 5 black people in that school. So I went from Henderson all black to an all white high school.
But you were ahead of the curve. Like, you were thinking about that already, so to speak. So, all right, when you make that transition going into that high school, what's the mindset for you? Is it stuck on college, or what were your dreams at this time?
What was I thinking? At that time, I was thinking I wanted to go to a school where I could learn. Yeah, that's really all it was. I just wanted to go somewhere where I could learn. I didn't have to deal with drama and people fighting each other. There was a lot of fighting in Henderson. There was a lot of, a lot of ghetto. Yeah, I just want to go somewhere where I could focus on, school and learning. And then probably my junior year, I was taking an art class, and I did a painting in art class, and my art teacher loved it. She's like, "This is like amazing, right?" And I said, "You know what? Yeah, I feel like I am a creative person. This is sort of my lane." It really wasn't art. It really wasn't painting, even though that picture I did at that time was really good. That wasn't my lane, but I discovered that in that school, my lane was being a creative. That's where I learned that. Yeah.
So where did college come in at?
So college, at this time, there's no internet.
Yeah.
There's
Don't date yourself too much.
Right. There's no internet. There's no Google. I went to the library to find out a lot of information about stuff. So I was at the library, picking schools. I'm very independent at this time. My mom's not helping with none of this stuff. I'm very independent. I'm basically trying to make a path for my life on my own. So I'm at the library and I'm looking at, I'm researching different colleges. My initial, what I initially wanted to go was Seton Hall. That's where I wanted to go in Jersey. I really wanted to go to Seton Hall. I took my SATs. Unfortunately, I was supposed to get like a 1400. Like, I just missed it. So they gave me multiple chances to do it, but it didn't happen. My second choice was St. John's. I wanted to go to St. John's in Queens. Again, I wanted to be back in the city. I wanted to be back in New York badly. My mom talked me out of it because St. John's is a commuter school. So at that time, they didn't really have dorms. You had to have an apartment somewhere, and you had to commute to school.
Oh wow, okay, that's very adult.
They may have one small dorm maybe, but for the most at that time they were a commuter school. You had to commute to school. She talked me out of it. She said, you have to commute to school, and whatever. I don't think that's, you should be doing that. So then I started researching historically black colleges, and I saw Morgan State. Something about it felt comfortable for me. I saw that a lot of New Yorkers went to that school. And I don't know, it was just something about it. I had this thing, it comes from your grandmother, God rest her soul. We sort of have this psychic ability about things. And when I saw Morgan State, it just spoke to me. I kind of had a good feeling about it. And as soon as I found out about it, I was like, that's where I'm going to go. So, and I need a different experience than this all-white school. I need to go back to my roots.
So, all right, we're going to transition to that. Where does my mom come in at?
Okay. So at this time, so okay. So college was freshman year was a lot of fun.
Mm,
Um, it was a culture shock,
mm,
of course. Again, coming from an all white high school to all black college,
yeah.
culture shock. I went from listening to rock and roll a lot to now I'm getting back to now, and it's crazy because I went to Morgan State in '94, so this
Oh,
is
you
when
dating
Nas
yourself.
album came out,
Yeah.
Illmatic,
Yeah.
Wu-Tang Clan, our first album came out.
Mm,
Like it's crazy. It's like '94 was a crazy time for like hip hop in New York, and I'm like in a HBCU, and I'm like with all my fellow New Yorkers. It was fun, man. It was crazy. So I'm glad I had that experience with them. But then again, my sophomore year, my mom said you have to get a job. You have to work. The summers in between school.
mm,
So I had a job at the grocery store behind our house. We had a really nice house at the time, and the grocery store was sort of behind it. That me and your mother both worked at. And again, I was bagging groceries for her, and it was just an energy. It's just the energy. When you talk to women, a lot of times you have that nervousness.
yeah.
You feel awkward. You don't know what to say. And with her, it was just easy. It just came easy. I flirted with her the way I'd never flirted with her before.
I don't want the repeat of it. I heard her side of it. Unfiltered.
I don't normally talk like that.
We used to work at this a job together, grocery store together. Um, so I don't know if you need to hit it.
It's cool. It's cool. We good.
All right, so I'm the cashier,
Of
and he came over. He was helping bagging up the person groceries or whatever.
course he was.
So a cucumber came through.
Oh God, this guy. Go ahead.
So the code for that produce, and I'll never forget it because it was a thing that we had, but that code is 4062. So that's like how we eventually started talking, bonding.
I know trying to convince me you little dirty. They some freaks. I heard the freak side of you.
There was just something about it. Just brought out my confidence. I just let it out.
Well, I'm glad it happened because I guess I wouldn't be here if you guys weren't some freaks. So, but she did say something interesting. You actually wanted to be a father, and you told her,
Yeah.
you're pregnant.
Oh yeah, I knew. Oh yeah, I know.
That's that psychic ability kicking in.
That's what it was. Yeah.
So what told you that? Like, what spoke to you, telling you, "Hey, she's pregnant now"?
I think it was just the way she was carrying herself,
Mm.
and again, I probably just felt the energy about it, and it was just time. It was just time. Like I just knew it had to be coming. Like I knew it had to be coming, or I need to go to the doctor and get checked. You know what I'm saying? You can't be doing this all the time, and you're not pregnant by now.
Did it take a while?
Like 3 years.
Wow.
I want to say, yeah. I want to say we were together 3 years before you were born. I want to say.
Thank God for me.
Yeah.
Well, thank God it took 3 years because I'll be old as dirt right now. So I'm glad for that. So you get into dadhood, fatherhood. What's it like at the early stages becoming a dad?
The early stages. The early stages was not. We never had issues as a couple in the early stages. What made it hard was not getting any sleep, getting up every 2 hours. That was hard. That was really hard. That 2 hours of sleep every night. But we really worked well together. And I had no problems, taking my shift. She take her shift. We had shifts. You take tonight so I can sleep. I take tonight. You take tonight so I take tonight you can sleep. So forth and so on. And we had our shifts, and we made it work. And I don't think we suffered as a couple having a baby, which is rare, being young, because that's usually what causes the conflict. We were actually a really great couple and being parents. It was just a whole, like I said, sleep deprivation, buying Pampers all the time, buying just normal everyday parent stuff. But it was actually a really good time. Actually, it didn't affect our relationship in a negative way. I'll say that.
And she always talks to you like, holds you up on this pedestal. You're a great guy. You're a great boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
But what did that for you? I mean, what made you? Because most black guys, what I'm saying, when they hear baby, they run.
Mm-hmm.
Or just being a boyfriend, they're douchebags. So, like, What made you want to be this good guy, to want to get flowers, to want to step up and take shifts in helping her sleep and everything?
Yeah.
What made you want to be that?
Because we were supposed to, in my brain, we were going to be together forever. Mm-hmm. We were never going to break up. I was going to marry your mom, and we were going to be together forever. That's what I thought, So it was just, this is life,
Yeah.
At that time, I thought, this is my life. This is the woman I'm going to be with for the rest of my life. We have a son. We're going to find a way. We're going to, we're not rich. We're okay. We had a really nice apartment. Mm-hmm. It was a really nice apartment. And that's at that time, that's what I thought. I thought we were going to be together forever. This is our life. We're going to make a way to make it work. And that's what drove me. I just figured, this is what I was going to do.
And if you're comfortable with sharing it, you said you were going to try to do life with her. What was your plan? Like, you had a plan in mind and you were setting things up. What were you doing?
So you started getting older, right? Of course. And, now bills are getting, more. Things are getting, responsibilities are starting to get a little bit more. And so we actually moved out of that apartment in Carytown. We lived in Carytown.
That's crazy.
Can you believe that?
I cannot believe that.
We had a beautiful apartment in Carytown.
I would have loved to grow up in Carytown.
Oh my God, like 2 blocks away from Cary Street. Nice apartment. Then we got another house. We got not another house, but a house. Mm-hmm. A beautiful big house we had. And so at this time I'm thinking, okay, like we're doing good, but I'm working at the grocery store still. Now I'm a bookkeeper. I'm running the office. I'm running I've now been promoted from bagger, cashier, office, working the customer service desk. It's now bookkeeper. So now at the end of the night, all the cashiers bring their tills to me. I have to count them all. I have to balance the safe. I was doing all that. Mm-hmm. So I have been promoted now, several times within the grocery store, but I'm still working at the grocery store, right? And so now I'm thinking, like, is this going to be it for me as far as career? Like, I can't work at the grocery store for the rest of my life, even though I had made it all the way up to pretty much, besides being sort of owning the grocery store, I had made it pretty high as far as what an average person can do. Mm-hmm. And I figured, I can't work at the grocery store for the rest of my life. Like, this is not where I envision myself. And we have this nice house. You're getting older. And I'm trying to figure out what's my next step. Like, what can I do to improve, where I am in life. And of course, your grandfather was in the Navy. He was a corpsman, a Navy corpsman in the Navy. And I just happened to go to a recruiting office one day, and I talked to, actually, I was supposed to go to the Navy recruiter like my dad. That was my initial goal. They weren't there. So a Marine recruiter saw me in the hallway, and he said, "You're in the wrong door, boy. Come down here." Come down here.
To add context, you were pretty small at the time.
And he was really, really cool. He was such a cool ass dude. He took me to his house, introduced me to his wife, his family, brought me to Quantico, right? He brought me to the base. He showed me what life is like on the base. Basically told me, showed me what housing looked like.
This is your dad?
No, this is the recruiter.
Oh, the recruiter.
Recruiter.
Okay.
showed me everything and basically said, you're working at the grocery store, right? All this could be yours. Free housing, check every 2 weeks, good money, free, like I said, free housing, and you're not going to worry about no bills, right? I hear that. I'm like, yes, that's what I want. That's exactly what I want.
For your family.
For the family.
Exactly. Okay.
For the family,
And
make our life easier.
Sorry to get into that, but you're already providing at the time.
Yeah.
Because my mom said that you're doing your due diligence.
We're doing great. Yeah, we're doing great.
Okay, continue.
We were doing great. That house we had was beautiful. My aunt came to visit us, and she wasn't expecting it. She walked in, she was like, "Wow, this is nice."
Kudos, man. Kudos. You doing your thing with that. Okay, so we try to do the military thing. What goes left with it?
I broke my leg. So I broke my leg in recruit training. So I was going to stay, but I missed your mom a lot. I missed you a lot. So I had to make a decision. They were like, John, do you want to stay? You can stay, until your leg heals and, then you finish out, or we can just send you home. And I was like, you know what? I miss my family. I miss my girlfriend. I'm just going to go home. And I had like $2,000 saved in the bank because they pay you the whole time you're there. Mm-hmm. So I had like $3,000 in the bank. So I came home with the money, and it was just the disappointment of not accomplishing what I wanted to accomplish. That really sucked for me. It was hard dealing with that. Hard, coming home, not completing what I wanted to complete, not finishing what I wanted, not finishing the job. So now we're in a situation where I don't have a job, right? Because I'm not at the because I was in the military. I don't have the grocery store job anymore. So now I don't have a job. Now I have to go about finding a new job. Your mom is different now because she's now has built a life for herself without me. Mm. So she's changed. I've changed a lot. That was probably a really huge thing. Like I was telling you earlier, I when I initially got to the military, I was 115 and just met the minimum requirements. 115 pounds, soaking wet. I could not run anywhere. I could not do a push-up. I could not do a pull-up, right? I came home, I was like 150, 160, all muscles. I could do 20 pull-ups in, easy, right? I was running 5 miles like it was nothing. Like my confidence level was different. Like, before I left, I was sort of more, not as vocal, not as confident, of course, how I spoke. When the things I wanted to speak, I was very shy. When I came home, I was very more confident. I was more vocal. I was more, tell you how I feel. That's what the military did to me. It sort of made me more of a man, and so to speak. So I came home different. So all those things played the part. I was a different person. Your mom was a different person. I didn't have a job.
Things happen though.
So now I have to look for a job again.
Yeah.
So she's in a new living situation at the time that I had to adjust to. So all that played a part.
Regardless, you still were a dad.
Yeah.
And I don't even know why it's a thing, but we often over time just look good dads, good black guys in general. Honestly, because it's not a lot of you. And I just want to first give you your credit towards you being that great guy, because you're the blueprint for me. And my mom even said it on camera that she raised me to be who you were. She thought you was this great guy that she just never even experienced before. And so that's why we're here celebrating a Father's Day right now, because I'm pretty sure we celebrated Father's Day before, but for my adult life, we can remember this is our first one together. And it's time to take a different look onto these things, because you think about Father's Day, nobody really cares about it.
Yeah.
For some reason, regardless if you're a good dad or not, it's like you get a tie or socks or something, mm-hmm. and that's just it. A pat on the back.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing whatever you do. So, I mean, how does Father's Day mean? Well, what does Father's Day mean to you? Is it important to you, or is it just another day?
Yeah, it's just another day.
And that's sad.
Yeah, it's just another day.
Is it because you feel like you're not appreciated?
No, not at all. Not at all. It's not that at all. It's just doing what I'm supposed to be doing. That's how it feels to me.
You're doing more than what you're supposed to be doing, though, because at the end of the day, when women do what they're supposed to be doing, mm-hmm. they get praised for it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They held up to the gods.
They are.
And I love my mom. I appreciate everything she did for me. She's a great, phenomenal woman. But I don't become who I am if it's not for both of you.
Yeah. And that's where we get our flowers. Seeing our kids grow up to be great human beings. That's where we get it from. That's where we get our flowers. Seeing you grow up, become a great person, a great contributor in society in a positive way. That's what gives us our gratification as a dad.
You need more than that.
For me, anyway. You need
way more than that. And this is not even to stroke his ego. I mean, like, I'm gonna sound like just a broken record at this point, but you chose to be different from your environment. Mm-hmm. You don't even see that anymore, let alone somebody that's a good boyfriend and a good dad, not complaining about being a provider. I don't know, man. It's just, I don't know what set you to that. I'm glad you got that in your genes, but I want to just make it more viral to hold men like you to that same pedestal that we hold, I'm going to just say it, average mothers. Mm-hmm. An average mother would be held at the same standard as a great dad. Mm-hmm. I just feel like that should change, because you're not an average guy. I gotta keep saying that. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being who you are and creating me in your image. Both mm-hmm. of you creating me in your image. And to steer off from that a little bit, being a great guy got you where you are now. So let's talk about where you are now and how you feel about your life right now.
It's really good, mm-hmm. Happily married now, for, it's going to be 12 years in August.
My God.
I'm with my soulmate, the love of my life. Mm. You have your younger brother. He just turned 13. He is amazing and super smart and figuring his way out in life. I have a pretty good job now, that I love. I help people a lot in my profession. And, I'm just glad I was able to expose you early on to this creative space. A lot of people might not know, but I managed a band for a little while, years ago. And, Jordan used to come up to, the city and visit, and he would come to some of the band's, events. You remember those?
I do. You just had this light in your eyes, man. I just always remember that about you, to where it's like the dream was just something special mm-hmm. to you, whatever dream it was. And most people look at you as like you couldn't make your mind up about things, which I disagree with. I just think that you were goal driven and you wanted to accomplish something that was kind of like larger than life itself.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. That's what most men want to do and want to be. Most men mm-hmm. want to be you, who you are. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So, again, another congratulations to you and kudos to you. But yeah, I do remember doing that stuff. Him setting that example for me, because I also did end up becoming a manager. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, I like kind of playing it like that, because I don't know if it was from you, but you
or seeing it. Yeah.
But it definitely played a factor. So you're doing that. Well, sorry, because you say you're happy now and everything, but I also wanted to get a little deep for a second. Sorry, y'all. You did that. You did what you're supposed to do. And we were talking about it, and I said, my mom never spoke bad about you.
Mm-hmm.
But I did, I don't know, have this feeling that you left us.
Mm-hmm.
Or that, you know, you weren't the dad that you were supposed to be. You were not the man that you were supposed to be. And I remember those times of you doing stuff like that.
Those years.
And for some reason, I just chose to throw it all away and paint you as this bad guy. Well, it was a very brief time of our life.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to take the accountability because the cycle never gets broken if one doesn't do it. I pushed you away.
Mm.
You know, I remember birthdays where you would call me
Mm-hmm.
and I would just ignore it.
Mm.
Because I thought at the time, my dad doesn't know me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, I didn't know how to talk to you about what I was maneuvering through because I didn't think you would understand life as a black man coming up in the hood. When
Mm-hmm.
you were.
Mm-hmm.
Especially as a black man coming up in the hood that wants to be different.
Yeah.
You know, and I wish I didn't push you away because had I had gotten your point of view, it would have saved me a lot of mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't blame you, man. I blame me. And for those guys out there that watch and are resenting their dad for whatever reason, because your mom is telling you something or you feel like, whatever you feel like he wasn't prevalent in your life, take a moment to try to look at it from a different perspective, especially while you're young. And I'm glad I did that because I can't see a bad in you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I can't see the reason why I would even want to push you away. And I don't know. That's just it, man. I love you. I thank you for the man that you were. And again, I apologize that we lost so much time because I wanted to keep that curse going.
Yeah.
And you yourself even had it where you didn't like your dad for a certain amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
And you wanted to rekindle it, but it was just kind of too late.
But I did.
You did.
I did.
You did. Mm-hmm.
I did. Thank God I did. You know, I did. When I moved back up here, and I stayed with him for a time being until I got my own place, and we were able to talk and talk about things and hear his stories. I
All right. Of course, we had technical difficulties. We're just gonna dive right back into it. So you said you did rekindle things with your dad eventually.
Well, no, it was never a rekindle.
Mm.
It was never a rekindle with my dad. I always loved my dad. I always looked up to him. I've never looked at my dad any sort of negative way at all. I always looked at him as my hero.
Mm.
Even though he wasn't there every day when I was a teenager, I always looked up to my dad. Like, he is the best thing that's ever happened to me. And when I got to spend more time with him as an adult, I just cherished that time when it was just great. But it definitely wasn't rekindle. It was, I always, like, my dad was always my hero. So
that's a positive outlook on it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm glad you got that because like I said, we don't get a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad you were able to get that. I'm glad I'm able to get that. I'm glad we're here now, for sure.
Yeah.
And just to wrap things up, I think that going forward, I would like to keep doing this as like like a tradition.
And we started I just recently started an annual family get together.
Yes.
So we're doing that every year at the end of the year, every year now.
So note to give them context. Last year we went to Miami.
Yeah.
I might just call and catch a play. I might just come see you today. You wait, I'm stuck up in my ways, but love it when I'm playing games. That's the only way we get away. We stuck together, you must forever. That's why I cannot go away. I leave you screaming anything. You find a way to keep me here. Make me think it through some magic and on
it showed me a whole different part of Miami I haven't seen, the Design District, Brickell. So yeah, and I started hearing about it a lot more. Biscayne. You got me saying on Biscayne now. So that was a great experience.
And hopefully this year we'll be going to Puerto Rico.
For sure.
Yeah.
I love the Puerto Rican women. That's what I told them. So I'm down for Puerto Rico. And I'm glad I got to show you guys another half of who I am, because like I said, my mom is great, and I love my mom, and words can't even describe what she's done for me. As you can see from the other episode. But
yeah, props to your mom.
Props to her. She built me in your image. You know, and I look at all my decisions in life, even from what I'm trying to do, and like we said, the music thing is like, for some reason, life is putting us into that same direction, so to speak. You know, I have that big dream mindset. I want to get out of my hometown to get to a big city. I'm finding out so much stuff, and it's my dad is this amazing guy. So I'm getting that same feeling that you had, and I'm glad for it, because it should be normalized. And I'm sorry that it's not, and I'm sorry I never gave you your well-deserved credit for it. But I definitely want to start now.
Thank you. Appreciate
no problem, man. This has been a great episode, man.
Love you, sir.
I love you too. I love y'all. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you find something positive with this episode, as any of my episodes are. There's a positive message to be heard and seen in every last one of them. I love you. He loves you. That's from us, the Kenchens.
What do they say? Like and subscribe, and hit the
like, comment, subscribe, please, all of that.
Hit that like button for your boy.
You're gonna be going on YouTube. How you feel about that? On Instagram, they're gonna love you.
Hit that like button for your boy.
On Instagram, you know you're going up, right? All the daddies be saying this. He's married. All right, y'all.